Welcome to Language Swap, everyone, a fun way to learn English. We are so excited to have you join us today.
Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm Alex.
And I'm Sally. And Alex, I want to start with a confession today.
Okay, I'm listening. What's on your mind?
For the longest time, I genuinely thought phrasal verbs were just this random, chaotic part of English that native speakers use to confuse learners on purpose.
Ha! That is such a common feeling. And honestly, I understand why. Look up, look after, look into, look forward to. Same verb, 4 completely different meanings.
Exactly. It felt like there was no logic to any of it. But the more I actually studied them, the more I realized something surprising. Phrasal verbs aren't random at all. They're just deeply tied to real life, real emotions, real situations.
That's such a good way to put it. And that's exactly what today's episode is about. Phrasal verbs you actually use every day. Not a random list to memorize, but the ones that show up constantly in real conversations, real problems, and real growth.
And here's something we want to promise you today. This episode isn't just about grammar, it's about some genuinely useful life vocabulary too, the kind of phrases that describe getting through hard things and moving forward.
So let's get into it. We're going to organize today's phrasal verbs around a theme, dealing with challenges, figuring things out, and taking care of yourself along the way.
Because honestly, that's what a lot of daily life actually is. Things go wrong, you figure them out, and you keep going. And English has such rich vocabulary for exactly that journey, more than most learners ever realize.
Let's start with the figuring things out category, because this is probably the most useful group of phrasal verbs for daily life.
Figure out, probably one of the most common phrasal verbs in English, period. It means to understand or solve something through thought or effort. I finally figured out why my code wasn't working.
You'll hear this constantly. I need to figure out what to do next. Let me figure this out. We figured it out together. It's such a flexible, everyday phrase.
Look into, to investigate or research something. I'm going to look into flights for next month. Different from look at, which is more passive, look into implies actual effort and research behind it.
Work out, multiple meanings. But in this context, it means to be resolved successfully, often after some struggle. I was worried about the situation, but it worked out in the end.
I love it worked out because it carries so much emotional relief in just 3 words. It's the phrase you say after something stressful finally resolves.
Sort out, very British in origin, but used everywhere now. To organize or resolve something that was previously confusing or messy, I need to sort out my finances this weekend.
Get to the bottom of a wonderfully visual phrase meaning to find the real cause or truth behind something confusing. We're going to get to the bottom of this, I promise.
That phrase always makes me imagine someone literally digging down through layers of confusion until they finally hit solid truth at the bottom.
Such a great image. Now let's move into the dealing with challenges category, because life doesn't just hand you clarity, sometimes you have to push through real difficulty first.
Get through. To survive or endure a difficult period or experience. I don't know how I got through that year, but I did. Incredibly common in conversations about hard times, and it's usually said with a mix of relief and pride, honestly.
Push through, similar, but implies more active effort and determination. I was exhausted, but I pushed through and finished the project. There's real willpower embedded in this phrase.
Deal with, to handle or address a problem or difficult situation. I have a lot to deal with right now, but I'm managing, extremely common, extremely useful.
Cope with, very similar to deal with, but often used more specifically for emotional or stressful situations. It's been hard to cope with the change, but I'm getting there.
Bounce back. Such a hopeful phrasal verb to recover, especially after something difficult, and return to a good state. She lost her job but bounced back within a few months.
I genuinely love this one because of the physical image behind it, like a ball hitting the ground and springing back up with even more energy than before.
Snap out of it. Slightly more direct, sometimes used gently, sometimes more firmly. To quickly stop feeling a certain way, usually negative. I was in a bad mood all morning, but I finally snapped out of it.
Context really matters with that one, said kindly. It's encouraging, said harshly. It can feel dismissive. Tone changes everything, just like we talked about in an earlier episode.
Now let's talk about the taking care of yourself category. because this is where phrasal verbs get genuinely beautiful, honestly.
Look after. To take care of someone or something. I need to look after myself better this year. Simple, warm, and so important.
Take care of. Extremely similar to look after, and honestly used interchangeably most of the time. Make sure you take care of yourself while you're going through this.
Wind down. We touched on this in an earlier episode too, but it's a perfect fit here to relax and slow down, usually before rest. I like to wind down with a book before bed.
Recharge, also touched on before, to restore your energy. I took the weekend to just recharge. These phrases keep showing up because self-care vocabulary is genuinely essential in everyday English, more than people expect.
Reach out to contact someone, especially for support or connection. If you're ever struggling, please reach out. I'm here, one of the warmest phrasal verbs in the entire language, honestly.
I really believe that one. Reach out carries this beautiful openness. It's an invitation, not a demand. It says the door is open without any pressure attached.
Open up. To share your feelings or thoughts honestly, especially after being guarded, it took her a while to open up about what happened. Vulnerable, brave, human.
I want to share something here. A few years ago, a friend told me, you don't have to open up about everything at once. Just start small. That advice stuck with me more than almost anything else anyone said to me.
That's such a gentle piece of wisdom, and it applies to language learning too, honestly. You don't have to use every phrase perfectly right away. Just start small and build from there.
Now let's talk about moving forward. Because after figuring things out and getting through hard moments, there's this beautiful category of phrasal verbs about continuing on.
Move on. To progress past something, often emotionally, and continue with life. It took time, but I've moved on. One of the most meaningful phrasal verbs in English.
Carry on, to continue doing something, especially despite difficulty. Despite everything, she carried on with grace. There's real strength packed into this simple phrase.
Keep going, about as direct and powerful as English gets. It's hard, I know, but keep going. 2 words, enormous encouragement.
Grow into, to develop and become more suited or comfortable in a role or situation over time. He really grew into the role over the past year. Beautiful phrase for personal development.
Level up. We mentioned this before too, to improve significantly. I really leveled up my communication skills this year. Modern, energetic, very popular right now.
Come around. To eventually accept, agree with, or feel better about something after initial resistance or difficulty. She was against the idea at first, but she came around eventually.
I love that one because it acknowledges that change and acceptance take time. It doesn't happen instantly, but it does happen. Coming around is a process, not a switch.
I want to add a few more that didn't fit neatly into those categories but are genuinely used constantly, because this episode is called Phrasal Verbs you actually use every day after all.
Good call. Catch up to get up to date with someone or something. Let's catch up soon. It's been way too long. We covered this a bit before, but it deserves mentioning again here.
Breakdown can mean a machine stopping working, but emotionally it means to become overwhelmed and lose composure. I broke down after finally hearing the good news. Sometimes tears come from relief, not just sadness.
That's such an important nuance. Breaking down isn't always a bad thing. Sometimes it's just the release after holding something in for too long.
Hold on, to wait, or to keep enduring during a difficult moment. Just hold on, it's going to get better. Such a simple phrase, but it carries so much comfort when someone says it to you sincerely.
Pull through. To survive or succeed despite a very difficult situation, often used for serious challenges. It was a rough surgery, but she pulled through. Strong, resilient phrase.
Show up. We touched on this before too, but it fits so well here. To be present and put in effort, especially when it's hard. I didn't feel like it, but I showed up anyway. Small decision, big impact.
Step up. To take responsibility or rise to a challenge when it's needed. She really stepped up when the team needed her most. Such an empowering phrase for describing someone's growth in a critical moment.
These extra phrases really round out the emotional range of everything we've covered today. Struggling, enduring, breaking down, and eventually stepping up and moving forward again.
It's honestly a full circle of human experience, all captured in these small 2- and 3-word combinations that native speakers use without even thinking about it.
Now here's something I want to highlight, because it connects everything we've talked about today. Every single phrasal verb in this episode describes some part of a real human journey.
Figuring something out, getting through something hard, taking care of yourself along the way, moving forward afterward, that's honestly just life. And English gave us this beautiful vocabulary to describe every single step of it, whether we notice it or not.
So if you're going through something difficult right now, we hope some of today's phrases genuinely land for you, not just as English lessons, but as words that describe exactly where you are.
Maybe you're still trying to figure something out. Maybe you're in the middle of pushing through. Or maybe you're finally starting to bounce back. Wherever you are, there's real language for it, and that alone can be comforting, even on a hard day.
Sometimes just having the words for what you're experiencing makes the experience feel a little more manageable. That's true in any language, honestly, not just English.
And I think that's the real gift of language learning that people don't talk about enough. It's not just about communication, it's about having tools to understand your own life a little better too.
That's such a beautiful way to close this thought, vocabulary as a form of self-understanding, not just a way to talk to other people.
All right, let's do our word tour for today, covering everything we talked about.
Figuring things out. Figure out to understand or solve through effort. Look into, to investigate. Work out to resolve successfully. Sort out to organize or fix. Get to the bottom of, to find the real cause.
Dealing with challenges, get through to survive a hard period. Push through to continue with determination. Deal with to handle a problem. Cope with to manage something emotionally hard. Bounce back to recover well. Snap out of it to quickly change a negative feeling.
Taking care of yourself, look after and take care of, both meaning to care for yourself or someone else. Wind down to relax before rest. Recharge to restore your energy. Reach out to contact someone for support. Open up to share honestly.
Moving forward, move on to progress past something emotionally. Carry on to continue despite difficulty. Keep going. Direct encouragement to continue. Grow into to develop into a role over time. Level up to improve significantly. Come around to eventually accept something.
And a few more essentials, catch up to get up to date. Break down to become overwhelmed, sometimes with relief. Hold on to keep enduring. Pull through to survive something very difficult. Show up and step up. To be present and rise to a challenge. Your challenge this week. Pick 3 phrasal verbs from today and use them to describe something real happening in your life right now, even if it's just to yourself.
Language becomes powerful when it's connected to something real, not just memorized in isolation from your actual life.
And whatever you're figuring out, getting through, or moving on from right now, we genuinely hope things work out for you.
If today's episode gave you something useful, or if one of these phrases really resonated with where you are right now, sharing it with someone who might need it too would mean a lot to us.
Thanks so much for listening, everyone.
Keep going. We'll see you in the next episode.